my friends, my name's Corrupt, and it is time to simplify 4 of the best Town Hall 12 attacks that you can use for the CWL and after the fall update. Let's start off with the Zap Lavaloon. Typically, you want to start with the lightning spells. You want to use the 4 lightning and 1 earthquake to clear through an inferno. If there is Teslas around that single or multi-target inferno, you could bring in the use of skeleton spells, or at least 1 skeleton spell, to lure out the Teslas. That way you can zap them all away so you don't need to worry about them. Next, you want to start using your heroes. This way what you're able to do is get a lot more, because the Lavaloon needs the heroes to get a good sizable chunk of the base down. You want to make sure that you are getting a good amount of value from both the Zap Quake and expanding on that with your hero die. So using something like the Yeti and also a Barbarian King allows you to start controlling all of your heroes, your Barbarian King and Archer Queen, into the base. You want to make sure that you're able to get through without having to waste any HP, so bringing a Headhunter is a great choice, but you're not limited to using your hero dive to go in for the Queen. In this case, unironically, the Town Hall is very much close to the enemy Queen and CC, 2 things that you want to get rid of. So as you're able to work yourself in, dealing with the enemy CC is no problem. Getting through the enemy Queen and enemy CC are very easy. However, if the Queen is a bit further away from the CC and where you're entering into with the heroes, then you may want to bring Headhunters with the Lavaloon portion. That'll help you deal with the enemy Archer Queen. Next, you want to start sending in your Lalo. In this case, you're going to start using the Stone Slammer on an area where you may have already gotten rid of an air defense. But then you want to start going in with the Lavaloon portion. So how you want to treat this is you want to look at air defense placement. Since there's only this 1 air defense and another air defense over here, you have very easy pathing to work yourself this direction. And you could use a couple group of balloons to go in like this. So you've got the Stone Slammer going in with them and merging everything together. As you start to work yourself in, you can use the Rage spell, the Grand Warden ability, in order to make it a slightly bit easier as you push your way through, protecting your balloons and maybe even a Lava Hound. And you could also use a couple balloons on the back end in case there are Teslas to start clearing through some other ones. You have freeze spells to take care of splash buildings to kind of freeze them up, and haste spells to quickly get from defense to defense. If you have a rage spell, you can actually use that earlier on instead of a little bit later. And you can bring Headhunters in terms of cleanup, but you've also got the minions and the lava pups that are really going to help you for cleanup. Definitely just make sure that you use the minions right behind the balloons after a given point so you don't earn a time fail when you're using the Zap Lavaloon. In the number 3 spot, we have the Zap Dragons. This is still a great army, and you could bring a small blizzard to this attack. Usually, if you're going to be adding the blizzard, you want to look for the Town Hall at least, and at least 1 air defense. If you can't get the Town Hall, that's fine. As long as you're able to get 1 air defense, you're good. Lava Hound is there to tank, and using the Rage spell and the Invisibility spell will allow you to get rid of both the air defense and possibly the Town Hall if you're aiming for that. Other than this, you've gotten a good amount of value to where you can start using your Zap Quake. You're going to use 2 lightning and 1 earthquake on each of the air defenses to clear through it. You're only going to be able to get rid of 2 here. So what you want to be able to do then is, in this case, on this base in particular, using the baby dragon and balloon to clear through this area, since there aren't really many air targeting structures, does help in terms of funneling. But you are going to use your heroes for the final air defense. If you can reach the final air defense with your heroes, this is a great choice for you to do. After this point, you can start sending in your dragons. You can use 1 to 2 of them to create the funnel, but if you got a really solid path, then you could have most of your dragons follow into the base without having to really worry about funneling them too much. So while the heroes are taking care of the air defense, you can use your Grand Warden ability along with a Rage spell to push your dragons into the base. Dealing with an enemy CC like Witches is not really the biggest thing to worry about, as you're able to still sweep through that enemy CC, and you're able to still move your way through. Remember, at this stage, you don't have any sort of spell support, but you've already gotten a large amount of the base down from your heroes Blizzard, and Zap Quake. This just gives you free reign with your dragons to smash your way through with no problem whatsoever. If you are planning on kind of using this attack, one key takeaway is make sure that you're not just going for a base that has the Town Hall and air defense right close. You don't always need to do that. You can always send your dragons in for the Town Hall anyways. In the number 3 spot, we have the Zap Witches. This can work incredibly well even if there is an outside Town Hall. So to start this off, you're going to be starting with the Zap Quake. Using 4 lightning spells and 1 earthquake will allow you to get through 2 different multi-target infernos. Now, it doesn't matter if these are set to multi-target or if they're set to single target, it doesn't actually matter. As long as what you're able to do is go from one side of the base to the other. Having 2 earthquake spells touch the eagle is going to help the log launcher out. One tip of advice, if you see an outside Town Hall, just like on this base here, you may want to bring sneaky goblins. Look for any traps by using some barbarians or goblins, and then start using your sneakies to get rid of the Town Hall because it's ripe for the picking. You're then going to start off with the golems, witches, and ice golems. You're going to pretty much use some of the witches to create the funnel on either side, maybe even bringing some healers like the attacker did here, and making sure that you've got the golems to start moving into the base with your log launcher and your heroes. You just want to make sure that it's very easy for you as you start to work yourself in. You usually want to look for the Town Hall, Eagle, and Inferno in a line together, and dealing with the enemy CC is never a bad option. Using the Grand Warren ability early will protect your log launcher, and you could bring in something like bowlers instead of an Ice Golem and P.E.K.K.A. or 2 Yetis. This does provide a lot of really good support, and the max level bowlers do give a little bit more power to this attack. While it may not give a ton, it is still a great support trait to have in the CC if you don't want to bring the Yeti or Ice Golem and P.E.K.K.A. As you're able to work yourself in, you want to make sure that what you're able to do with this attack is, in this case, since most of the core is gone, most of it will go onto the outside. And while the left doesn't have as much power, the right still has the Queen, Witches, and Grand Warden. So you will try to get through as much of it as possible. And even though the Town Hall is still up, hasn't even lost any HP, you've still got the Queen, and that is why this attack is so strong. It prevents you from using the Queen ability too early unless you accidentally tap it. So it does give you a bit of an extra boost in making sure that you're able to still get through the base without really having to worry. And for the most part, you'll still have a ton of witches still up, and this is why it is still one of the best attacks in the game to use, and it could be practically used on every base as it can crush it. Just make sure that if you see a Town Hall on the outside, use those sneaky goblins. And in the number 1 spot, we have the Queen Charge Hybrid. So how you typically want to use this attack is you want to make sure that you're able to create a funnel on one side. So using your Archer Queen to walk her way over to something like this, in this example, he's going to go in for the enemy CC. You always want to look at where that CC is. If you're able to get rid of it, great. And that way what you're able to do is also get rid of the Town Hall. You really want to try and think about the funneling for your hybrid portion, because you do have the use of your King and Siege Barrack, but you're using the Queen in order to deal with the enemy CC and deal with a very exposed Town Hall. So you just want to think about those things. As you start to work yourself in with the charge, you may want to use some balloons to look for any seeking air mines. You want to make sure that you're then going ahead and using that rage spell early, maybe even using a poison and freeze to deal with the super minions if you're seeing that, but using the rage spell to quickly get through and heal your queen up, even if that means that forces your queen ability, that's fine. You have the Siege Barrack and Barbarian King on one side of the base, which helps you to create the funnel, and you've got the Queen that created the other side. Then you've got your hybrid to start working themselves in very easily. And what you've got is you've got the max hogs in that Siege Barrack, so even if the Queen does die, you've got the healers to switch onto your miners and your hog riders. So as you're working yourself in, you've got maybe 2 to 3 heal spells. You can use that first heal spell early on as you start to move through, and you could use that Grand Warren ability a little bit later. You got those max Hog Riders, which are really going to help since they do have over 1,000 HP, and it does allow you to still move through. You want something like this, something like an L shape in terms of the path, and that is exactly what the attacker was able to get here. Using the leftover heal spells on the back end part, using a freeze against a single or multi-inferno, X spells as well, and the Hog Riders, the max Hog Riders just cannot die with the Hybrid. And this is why Hybrid is right now one of the strongest, if not the strongest attack. It's super simple to create the funnel, it's not like a Queen Charge Lalo, and it is super dang strong if you are able to go ahead and have the Hog Riders and Miners along with the Max Hogs crush through with very simple pathing. That way, you are able to get the 3-star with no problem. So out of the 4, what is your favorite attack? Let me know down in the comments below. Make sure to subscribe and ring the bell and use code CORRUPT and I'll catch you in the next video. Corrupt, signing out.